The sinoatrial node is the heart's natural pacemaker. It is what sets the heartbeat and the rhythm of the heart. Here it is in the lab diagram. Here on the lab model, we can see that the sinoatrial node is next to the right auricle. The sinoatrial node has specialized cells that conduct action potentials. Sodium ions slowly flow into the cell, making it more positively charged. This is called the pacemaker current. This current allows sodium ions to slowly flow into the cell, even when the cells are at rest. When the charge reaches a certain level, calcium ions enter and flow in and make it even more positively charged. This creates the actual action potential, or the electrical signal, that reaches the other cells. So sodium and calcium ions flow into the cell, and after the action potential is made, then potassium ions leave the cell. This allows the whole process to reset and continue the pace of the heartbeat. Once the sinoatrial node sends an electrical signal, it must spread in a specific order. This is called the conduction system of the heart. The sinoatrial node starts the signal. This signal makes the atria, which is the upper chambers of the heart, contract so that blood flows into the ventricles, which are the lower chambers of the heart. Once the electrical signal reaches the AV node, it pauses to allow the ventricles to fill up with blood. The electrical signal flows down to the bundle of His in the heart, which is a bunch of fibers or nerve cells that extend from the atrioventricular node of the heart. This fiber bundle, the bundle of His, receives the electrical signal from the AV node and then sends it to the Purkinje fibers. Once the signal reaches the Purkinje fibers, this causes the ventricles, the lower chambers of the heart, to contract, and this allows the blood to flow to the lungs and the rest of the body. The electrocardiogram, also known as an ECG or an EKG, measures the electrical activity of the heart and represents this electrical activity as waves. There's specific waves that coordinate with specific parts of the heart's conduction system. The P wave represents the electrical signal from the sinoatrial node, which causes the atria, which are the upper chambers, to contract. This is the first bump of the electrocardiogram, representing atrial depolarization. Next, we have the QRS complex, which coordinates with the AV node and that electrical signal that goes from the AV node to the bundle of His to the Purkinje fibers. The electrocardiogram represents the QRS complex as a tall wave because the ventricle depolarization is a very intense electrical signal. The T wave represents the ventricles relaxing. This is called ventricle repolarization. The electrocardiogram provides a snapshot or visual representation of the heart's electrical activity. This lets us know if there's any problems with the heart. An example of a problem would be arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat. It could be too fast, too slow, or just irregular all over the place. This is what an electrocardiogram representation would look like. It shows the different phases: P, Q, R, S, and then T. Here we can see types of heart arrhythmias, such as tachycardia, bradycardia, extrasystole, and atrial fibrillation.